Galloway's Tech Talk at 3, the BuzzClip with Graham Longley of Aspire Consultancy.
For anyone that doesn't know me, and at least half of you do, my name is Graham Longley and I run a couple of different businesses, but I'm here with my commercial hat on today, although I have been Galloway's digital partner for Techability with my not-for-profit hat on. But with my commercial hat on today, I run Aspire Consultancy, which is an assistive technology business run by myself. It's basically me and the dog and a little bit of help, and we sell over 100 products in one place. We do training, and we sell buy and sell secondhand refurbished assistive technology products, pretty much purely for the visually impaired, although I'm sure I can get hold of other things if people need them. So what I have in my hand, I will just kind of angle it towards the camera if David or Amanda can possibly see that. That's just a box at the moment, but what I'm holding in my hand is the box for a new product that we've got in. It's a mobility aid called the BuzzClip. It's made by a company called Immersive in Canada. It has been out a little while. We've only just recently, although we were in discussions with the company about selling it this time last year, it all slipped a bit with COVID and one thing and another. So we've only just got stock of these in the last couple of weeks. Now, I don't want to kind of rubbish any other products, but if you've seen something like the Ultra Cane, which is a big kind of clunky handle that attaches to a cane, you can't really take it off the cane. If it breaks, you have to send the whole thing back. But it is a big kind of clunky attachment that gives you warning of obstacles in front of you and above you. But it is, you know, people say it's quite big, it's quite chunky, it's quite difficult to get your hand around, and also it only goes on a cane. There are other handheld devices that you can get to warn you of obstacles, but the BuzzClip is kind of does what it says on the tin. It's a there's two parts to it. I'm actually in my right hand, I'm actually holding the main part of it, and I don't know how much justice I'm actually going to be able to give this.
Would you mind just lifting up a little higher?
Sorry. Yeah, like
perfect.
That.
Yeah.
So that is the main bit of it. That's got the sensors in it. If I turn it around maybe and let you have a look at my big fat fingers are getting in the way. The clip is separate. So if we go through unboxing, if we unbox it, we have this bit, which is the main bit, which again, it could be any old bit of plastic really. It almost feels like a bit like a plumbing device or something. But when you get the stuff out of the box, you've basically got the instruction book, which is in print, although we can supply electronic manual. We have, this is the important bit. Can you see that? That's the actual bit that it clips into, that then clips onto something else. And again, I'm not really going to be able to demonstrate this particularly. See, that moves up and down, that bit. Hang on, let me put the box down a minute. This bit for Amanda and David, if you can possibly see that. This kind of, you can angle that. With my right hand, I'm basically clicking the positions of the clip up and down. So you can point it skywards, you can point it downwards. And again, Amanda, if you can see, this is the clip bit and the bottom bit.
Would you mind just holding up a little?
Sorry, yeah.
That's perfect.
And so this is how it clips onto the cane.
Yeah.
Or I'll come back to it in a minute.
It's almost like a rounded bulldog clip, the bottom bit.
Yeah, that's a great description. I'm nicking that. Thank you. But you know, it is just really to the casual observer, that is a piece of plastic. However, in this case, it's extremely important. Now, it is rechargeable. It comes with 3 other bits. It comes with a plug, which is a 3-pin plug, thankfully. Thank you, the Canadians. I don't know whether their plugs are 3-pin or 2-pin. You've basically got the rest of this, and you've got a lanyard. I won't get the lanyard out. It's a piece of string that goes around your neck if you want to wear it around your neck. So it will alert you to, I'll put it back in its box for now. I'll just talk about it for a minute or two, and then people can ask me questions. It will alert you to obstacles above you and in front of you. I know somebody in the last week or two who's sustained quite a nasty head injury by walking into an overhanging. I'm not sure if it was a branch or a sign, but it certainly left them shaken up and with quite a nasty bump on their head. They were working the guide dog. The guide dogs, to all intents and purposes, they can't look up, down, left, right, front, back. They can't do all of that in one go. It's not possible, despite what guide dogs might try and tell you, that the dogs are trained to look for overhead obstacles. If they can't look in like 4 or 5 directions at a time. So this will detect head height and front obstacles and it's got a switch on it, so you can actually set the sensor to detect at 1, 2 and 3 meters, which makes it actually ideal for social distancing. And because it's not, the other kind of key thing about it really is because it's not tied to a cane, it's not part of a cane handle, or it's not part of a cane. Because it has the clip, which I just held up in the air a minute ago, you can clip it onto anything. So yes, you can clip it onto your cane, you can clip it onto your guide dog harness, you could clip it onto your shirt, your jacket, your hat. I actually think putting it on, mounting it on the front of a baseball cap, and if I go out, I've pretty much always got a baseball cap on, because the peak of the baseball cap is going to take the impact of a branch or whatever before your head does normally. Sometimes I think a hard hat might actually be better, but so you could clip it onto anything. Clip it onto your rucksack, on your bag, on your hat, just anywhere where you want to be alerted to front oncoming objects or head height objects. And I think if you're working a dog, I think the head height is really important. I think if you're using a cane, you may well want it on your cane, because the general public, bless them, they think that we're going to walk into things where, for those of us that don't have a lot of functional vision and use a cane, as I'm doing again at the moment, you've got to find the obstacle before you can work out how to go around it. You've got to work out where it is and how big it is and how you can get around it, and if it's safe to get around it. So, but the general public see you walking towards this obstacle, because you've got to find it first, and they think, oh, blind person's going to walk into the bin or whatever, and they have a tendency to grab you and pull you out of the way, which is slightly more scary than walking into the obstacle, I think.
Yeah.
If you're a dog user, the dog is going to go around the obstacle, but again, might not be looking up, down, left, right, back and forward at the same time, unless you've got a very, very clever dog like Sue, maybe. So the other good thing about what I was talking about just now about being able to angle the clip itself is, again, the manufacturers say you might want to actually angle it down. Where's it gone? There's the plastic bit. There it is. You might actually want to, with the other bit in it, and I do apologize, I've got hypermobility in my fingers, so it's not that easy for me to put this together. And I went looking for my demo one that I got last year downstairs earlier, and I couldn't find all of it. I could find this bit, I couldn't find the actual BuzzClip itself, so it's down there somewhere, so apologies for that. But you can angle this. That's why it clicks. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got 4 different positions, so you can have it pointing at the floor, you can have it pointing at the sky. So just to give you a little bit more kind of direction or flexibility, or maybe more accurate information, if it's pointing straight up in the air, you might get more information than if it's not quite pointing straight up in the air, or vice versa, if you think you're going to encounter things at a certain height. So really, as I say, that's kind of all there is to it. It's the buzz and the clip, which are 2 separate parts to it. The buzz bit's got the sensors in it. The clip clips it onto things, and it comes with the charger and with the lanyard if you want to wear it around your neck so you don't lose it. Yep.
Can I ask a question? How buzzy is the buzz? Does that mean, is it a long continuous buzz, or is it a buzz buzz? How does it sound or feel?
It's pretty buzzy. It feels like a vibration next to you, but it buzzes as far as I remember. I haven't got this one set up, so I'm pretty definite it's a continuous buzz all the time it sees the obstacle, and then it stops when the obstacle's disappeared. I'm sure that's right.
what I'll do is I'll, if you'd like to take yourselves off mute, if I can unmute you, I will, but I think some of you may have muted yourselves. So if you want to ask any questions,
I'll preempt one.
feel free.
I'll preempt the how much is it?
Okay.
It's £249, which might sound like a lot of money, but there's a lot of research and development that goes into these products. And if you compare it to something like an Ultra Cane, or I'm trying to think what the round handheld one's called, which we don't sell, but that's quite expensive, and you can't clip that onto anything. It's just an actual handheld one. I think Seeing Solutions, Pantrad, I think they sell it, and Steve Nutt Computer Services might sell it, but it's not something we actually sell. But I'm pretty sure you can only actually hold that in your hand. It can't clip onto anything.
Yeah.
So they are 249. We are shortly going to get. Again, they're on the website, but we've had trouble getting hold of them. We are also selling the Swarovski canes. So the Swarovski canes are made in the Czech Republic or Slovakia. Somebody's going to get me. I'm going to get into trouble now. I think they're the Czech Republic. Yeah, they're the Czech Republic.
We had the same discussion while watching football the other night.
Right. Well, of course, the Slovakia and the Czech Republic, and they've both got teams in the Euros.
Yeah.
But we also do a product from Slovakia, and I have to be very careful not to get them around the wrong way because I could get into serious trouble. But the Swarovski canes are kind of lighter, stronger. You can get ceramic tips to use with them for anybody that does an echolocation. They're endorsed by Daniel Kish, who's the echolocation man. So we haven't got any in stock at the moment, but you could quite, it'd be nice if really to be able to give the option to sell the two as a package, which I think is what we're going to do. But at the moment, the clip's always going to be $249. We might do some sort of offer if we can reliably get hold of a decent quantity of canes. We might then do some sort of bundle.
Yeah.
So buy a BuzzClip, get a reduced price cane or a free cane or something. But I'm not in a position to do that today.
Can I ask, regards it had a plug.
Yeah.
How long does it take to charge? And once charged, how long does it last?
Yeah, you'd think I'd know that, wouldn't you? It doesn't actually say that in the stuff that's on our website. It's going to take an hour or two to charge up. An hour to 2 hours is going to be the norm. I think it will then run for like 4 or 5 hours if I remember rightly. Again, I can.
It's quite a long time.
I will check. I will double check because I was looking through the product info on our website earlier. But yeah, I don't think you like it to get stuck somewhere with it going flat as long as you remember to charge it.
I would imagine it'll be variable depending on how many times it goes off while you're using it.
Yeah, because it's going to be.
There'll be some routes, there'll not be much. I mean, I certainly know there's some routes where I live where there aren't any overhanging trees or bushes, but then you get another street where it's full of them.
Does it tell you when it needs charging?
Yes, it does. Yeah, definitely.
What does it do? How do you know if it's low on charge?
It bleeps, as far as I remember. It doesn't talk in any way, shape, or form. As far as I know, it actually bleeps at you.
Yeah, and when it's charging, does it flash a colour, or do you? Is there anything that indicates it's charging?
There's no LEDs on it, as far as I know. So, I'm pretty sure that's right. A lot of things don't though, unless you've got something that talks.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think you just have to plug it in and
hope for the best.
Plus, that it kind of trust that it's actually charging because there's nothing on where's the clip itself gone? I don't think unless you can. I mean, I wouldn't know if there were any on here or not. But I don't think there's any LEDs on this, but I'm sure there aren't. Again, I'd have to ask Nigel, my support worker.
You'd think with something like that they put some. Well, it wouldn't need speech, some sort of tactile thing, like a simple tactile to tell you it's charged.
Yeah, not that I'm aware of. No, that's a really good point. I can ask the manufacturer.
I mean, it could deal with something, couldn't it, really?
Yeah.
Can I ask you, how much warning do you get? When it buzzes, how? Because obviously some people might use it when they're out jogging. Some people might do it when they're just on the daily amble, but how?
I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody with significant low functional vision that would jog on their own. and I'm not trying to.
Oh no, but I'm just saying, if people want to take it out for extra reassurance, I know there's a few people I know that do jog. I think Andrew runs. Does Andrew run? Is he a jogger?
I'm sure he does.
Yeah, but I
Andrew
just think it's
Coleman does.
yeah,
He jogs.
he does a bit
I'm
of
sure
running.
he does.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you're probably right. Sorry, I know he goes for very long walks because I've talked to him while he's been on a few.
Yeah. So how
Oh.
much? How far off does it detect the obstacle?
So it's
Obviously, if
at
you're
a
walking,
meter.
you
It's
get more.
at a meter's distance, 2 meters distance, or 3 meters distance, depending on what you've got what you've got it set to. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're running really fast, it might not. It might, I haven't tested this, but if you're running really fast, it might not have chance to actually, you might be on top of the object almost as the instant that it's told you that you're a meter away from it. You might have already it's
might be on it,
buzzed.
mightn't you?
Yeah, you might be. It's buzzed, but you're running so fast that you might already be on top of it. I think if I was jogging, I'd want it set to 3 meters.
Yeah, just
then
because
when-
you
I think I will just.
yeah, you got more
or two,
chance then.
maybe two.
Or maybe if you've got
chance.
very long legs and you're a very quick walker.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, when I was using, when Wilbur was working, I don't know how fast Sue is, but certainly when Wilbur was walking, we did not hang around.
I
We were
don't.
fast. We were fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a really good point. But it's all right. It's all very well. It's saying it's a meter, it's 2 meters, it's 3 meters. But yeah, I think if you were traveling,
You'd have to test it out yourself, wouldn't you, for that, how far you wanted it apart. Whether you wanted 1 or 2 or 3 meters. You'd have to test that out yourself, really.
What's the current government guideline for social distancing? Is it 2 meters?
2 meters. So 2 meters would be a good
social
starting point,
distancing.
wasn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
And so that's going to go on and off as people move in front of you, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's going to be handy in a queue because it'll help you
so.
when to move up, so you could use it that way, I suppose, as well.
I suppose
you won't know if a queue's moved up a bit. How many have you because you, for example, Graham, won't know there's a queue's moved up.
No,
without your dog in particular, you won't know. The one thing I've been thinking of, and I know somebody got their ear clipped once, it's a long time ago, by a car mirror. Now, car mirrors are not big. It was a Ford Transit size vehicle, I think. It wasn't so it's somebody sort of more average height, not somebody little like me, So that's probably why they caught their ear on a mirror.
Well, that's nasty.
Would it spot the smaller items? And let's face it, some branches can be small as well, but they can poke you in the eye.
I think it's only going to detect objects that are in line with the sensor, or in line with the radius of the sensor. So if you're bowling along and it's looking straight ahead of it, if there's a van mirror to your right, out of its line of sight, out of the sight of the sensor, whether it's above or in front, it's not, it's still potentially going to miss that. And I think really it's designed to complement. It's not meant to be a replacement for a mobility aid. It's meant to complement.
No. This is what
mobility. I think it's very important to say that, actually.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Because something like a van parked half on the pavement, and some don't they?
Don't get me started.
Don't get me started either.
And this is probably situations like that where you'd feel that when you came. But having said that, people who park at the side of the pavement properly, some vehicles, where things can stick out like a mirror. So in a taller vehicle, for example, your average car, you're probably all right because it's going to only hit your shoulder or your arm rather than your ear or your head.
I think if a van is parked right hard against the curb and like a transit, and the mirror is sticking into is overhanging the pavement, I still think unless the sensor sees it either forward or above, you're still going to walk into it.
Right.
So
right,
it's meant to be. It's meant to complement either your eyes, your stick, or your guide dog, or a mixture of
yeah.
the above.
Mm.
I think so. I really, it does say you can use it without a mobility aid. So for those, somebody like Andrew maybe who goes jogging without his cane, you know,
if got some sight.
It does say you can use it independently of a cane or a dog. Personally, I'm not absolutely sure that's such a good idea.
It would have to be tested out properly, wouldn't it? Because some branches, some tree branches, it would miss. You know, particularly the twiggy type branches.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we've all had near misses with that, hitting our glasses or our eye or ear.
Oh yeah. Again, that's one of the reasons for wearing a baseball cap. But I'm probably too old for baseball caps, really. But hey, anyway, I don't care.
I have a pair of secateurs to cut the branch off as you go past the pair.
That's right. You could have been one of them.
You're the second person to suggest that in the last 2 days. Actually, somebody else said somebody who's very tall. It was on the Facebook discussion about the lady that had hurt herself, and one of my friends in the northeast he's over 6 foot tall, and he said he was very tempted. He's a guide dog owner. He was very tempted to take a pair of secateurs out with him when he went out, because the councils don't seem to do very much. So
they don't really know.
But a lot of it's private individual homes as well as the council. It's private. You know.
I know, yes. There's one round here and they don't cut the hedges.
I think if it's overhanging the public footpath, the council can insist that they cut it. I think they have a duty
they can.
To keep the public footpath and the road free of stuff that's coming from their private garden. But it might be a bylaw, and it might have to be enforceable per council, like the pavement parking one is.
I know, yeah.
Pavement parking is only illegal in London. It's not illegal in the rest of the country. It's enforceable by each individual council in a civil way, according to local bylaws, in everywhere else apart from London, where it is actually law.
So can I just check then, Mrs. D, do you have any questions about the BuzzClip?
It's a good idea. I can see a bit, at the moment, but sometimes I haven't banged into anything at the moment, but if it gets worse, I might have to have something like that.
Yeah, and I think it's the peace of mind knowing that you've got an extra aid that is quite discreet. And with it being black as well, it's it's quite a discreet little thing. It's not screaming, here's an aid, look at it, is it? It's quite a discreet little package. And I think if you didn't know what it was, you'd probably think it was like something to do with a mobile phone. You know what I mean? You'd think a bit of modern tech, but not necessarily know what it was straight away. Graham, if you don't mind just holding up again.
Sorry, which bit? Both of it?
The bit that clips onto the person.
That'll be that bit there then, the bit of plastic.
If you just mind holding that up. And it's only a couple of inches long, would we say?
Yeah.
It's not big at all. In fact, the biggest bit is actually the clip. And once it's clipped on, if you had dark clothes, I doubt you'd notice it really.
All right.
Maybe they should do it in a range of colours, Graham.
I think they had so many of them made. I don't know what the stock levels are at the moment, but I'll suggest to the guy Arjun, he's called.
Yeah.
He's he's based over in Toronto. There is, if I can find it. If you want me to send it to you, Amanda, or to Andrew, there is actually a video.
Oh yes, if you don't mind,
that would be good.
We could put that on our Facebook groups, and then people could at least have the link to that video. That'd be really lovely. Thank you.
I don't know whether it's made it onto YouTube. It's on the Immersive website, I believe. It's Immersive. It's IMERCIV. I don't think there's an E on the end. No, there wouldn't be, would there? But it's not
hip and trendy if you've got all your consonants and vowels. It sells better if you've got a few letters missing.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
So, and that's the only product that's the only product they're currently involved with. They've kind of I've chatted to him a couple of times recently on Zoom, and he was telling me that they've really gone now, partly because of the pandemic, but they've got very involved with artificial intelligence. So really, Immersive is to manufacture this, but they have other companies. Him and his one of the other guys that I was previously dealing with at USUP, they've now got other companies that are involved with. For anybody that's used Soundscape or anything like that, it's more that kind of thing that they're trying to develop, some more kind of GPS-y kind of route finding, route mapping type software or apps that they're getting involved with now, because they think that's probably more lucrative, I suppose, for want of a better word.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask a question about that. Before I do, can I just check with David W? Have you got any questions you'd like to ask? Are you okay, David W?
Yeah, I'm okay, but I'm finding walking into signs on the edge of the street. That's you know what I mean, like no parking signs and things like that. I've walked into a few of them.
Yeah, and that's painful as well.
Hurts. It does.
That is painful. Yeah, and I think as well, it's not helpful that they're not, you know, for those who are able to identify a bit more with the help of bright colours, it never helps that I always think that they're like they're a dirty colour and they're of a certain height, and they're just like the worst obstacle to bang into. But
normally grey, aren't they? Or
yeah, and I think if you did them in, you know, in a fluorescent yellow, or they were lit up or something, you'd have a bit more of a chance, possibly.
I think they should all be high vis. I really do believe they should all be high vis.
Or signposts and streetlight posts.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. I mean, if anybody's got any questions about anything else that we might do or they need help with, while you've got me here.
Well, I was going to say,
I've got 22 years experience of supplying kit and training people, and
well, I was going to say, what do you think is the trend at the moment? It does seem to be like all apps and navigational tools seems to be very the thing at the moment. That's where you see,
don't I? Yeah.
I think if you said, I think I'm going to answer that question in two parts. I think what have we supplied the most of? You know, while we haven't been going out and about and doing exhibitions or going out to see customers or doing drop-in days or whatever. I think we certainly, maybe not quite so much recently, but certainly in the first year of the pandemic, we sold a lot of refurbished braille equipment, which is quite unusual. But I would say the three things we were getting or a couple of things we were getting the biggest demand for was the electronic braille dymo print labeler. We probably sold a dozen of those, which is quite unusual. We sold a lot of the boom boxes, which again you might supply through Galloway's. The Sovereign, which is currently out of production, but the Sovereign 2 and the Sovereign Sonic 2.
Yeah, the Sonic 2 is very popular with a lot of our users.
We sell on average, you know, we're not a big company, but we sell on average one a week, which for us is a lot. What was the other thing? We sold something else that we got a real demand for, which was quite unusual. So the Braille Dymo labeler, the Sonic 2. It's unlikely the big Sonic's coming back into the big.
That memo recorder, wasn't it?
Thank you, David. I'm glad.
That's it. Yeah, the memo thing.
That little, that very, very simple memo. You got a high demand for that during lockdown.
I'm glad you're here, David. Thank you very much, sir.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
The MicroSpeak Plus, the little yellow, simple to use digital voice recorder. Yeah, we've sold a lot of those as well. In terms of trends for apps, I think it very much is anything that reads to you. So Seeing AI in particular, which I know Andrew did a session on the other week, and anything that helps you to navigate. So you might use a combination of an app, the BuzzClip, your cane, your dog, with your bone, you know, the app with your bone conducting headphones, maybe. You know, you just have to use every tool that's available to you, really, if you can. if you can afford it or if you can get the funding from somewhere.